Hello, this is Nicholas Webb, and I thought I'd give another review of some. Today I went by Target trying to look for the Digimon cards, trying to get everything into the same area. Just scooch this way. Anyway, so sorry about the color. I still haven't figured out what I can do about my screen. But anyway, I can try to do this. Oh, that doesn't work anymore. Okay, well, anyway. Alright, well, I thought I'd give a, show, I was able to pick up today. I went by Target and I found the three guys that make up, Shoutmon and his companions. And I have to say, I kind of like them. But I thought I'd also give a nice, good, review of what all we got. So, I have three Shoutmon. Honestly, he's probably one of the my few ones that I really did became my favorite. One of my favorite characters because, he's just hilarious. Now, first of all, the first one I got was this one. This one comes with this guy and this guy. And they're pretty cool characters. I rather enjoyed them. I rather enjoyed this set because when they combine together, they become one of the better looking better looking cross fours. And I'm gonna say and these were like Japan only, and then this is the Japanese figures. This is the figures the Japanese got. This is the Shoutmon from this is the bigger versions of the figures. And this one's, it's itty bitty. And then we get the American version. The first thing I can say about this, my God, it's huge. I mean, just ginormous compared to the other two. But it's not just that. It's one of the better looking ones. It's the most accurate to the show in this form. And, you can actually do some fun things with these guys because the American ones have interchangeable joints. They all use about the same kind of connectors. So you can, change things around to make some really strange things. But that's not necessarily the part that was really interesting. So, this one is basically supposed to be their major one, and I've been tempted to pick up the rest of the parts of them, but the full form doesn't look necessarily as good. I don't know. I've been kind of iffy. The small form, I love to death. I did a review of that, so that's not such a big deal. So I thought I'd give each figure. Shoutmon here, compared to these other two, is completely different. I mean, the thing is, this Shoutmon is a good figure. No one's gonna regret picking up the Shoutmon. He's great. So I like it. I think that's good. Now let's move the Shoutmon away. I hope they don't get too upset about it and shout about it. Bad joke, I know. And now we have the Beastamon. I don't know. I haven't figured out what he's supposed to be called. And this little one right here is actually more accurate. And, that right there, that's kind of okay. That's a little silly. But the look of this one, this is the American version, isn't bad. The big little knob in the front is kind of it's weird, but it serves a purpose. So I would say, when it comes to the figures, this isn't really a bad one. Now, I get to the one where alright, this guy has not been able to get a very good figure, period. So, here, I'm kind of liking this one more than this one, except for a few other things. Honestly, the thing that I dislike about this one is the fact is that he's not as long. He's not really slender and stuff. I mean, I'd like, and this is the thing, the core parts of them, the important parts, can easily be swapped out if they have some, secondary toy line guys or something. And basically what I'd like is some kind of an extender to extend out his back end here a little bit farther and have these legs, go differently. Something that works just like everything else. It just extends it out where he has more of a back end that can move somewhat independently. All it'd have to be is some little like three-way connector, which I don't know. I might be able to find one, and it might just extend him out. And then I think he'd have a better torso. And then I would like it. I wish they had different arms on here, which, someone makes and designs a third-party arms. Basically, you could make this guy, and this figure would look awesome. I just wish it had, like, better arms and stuff. But, yeah, that's about it. That's the only thing I dislike about this one. The tail. Oh my god, I love the tail. The tail is awesome. Now, it's not as quote-unquote accurate per se, but the jointing and all that is great. So, this figure, I think, third-party support, if someone could like start building, like what they do with Transformers all the time, building some components just to hold them together, that would be just awesome. But, it's like, you don't expect much for this guy. I mean, I love the sculpt on his mane here, and I think it looks really cool. So, obviously I enjoy it. I'm glad I bought it, but I'm a little disappointed in some of its aspects. Now, the Digivolution is kind of funny. Now, first of all, you can have most of the Digivolution done without Shoutmon. I mean, seriously, most of it. He is the least important character in the transformation. While in the other versions, he is the center part. Which, that I'm not too keen on. Alright. But I like how the figures change quite a bit. These two figures change quite a bit by pieces from each other. It's not as obvious as it was in the other ones. So, first things first is we got to get Beastamon. I know I'm butchering it. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. You basically take him, you twist him up where he's like this. Visually, it's already pretty cool, but see how it's short arms. You pop them out, and you basically take the segments from Dramil. I can't even say any of these guys' names. I apologize, but I love them, but I can't say their names. Basically, I have to take out the two sections of his tail, and I plug them into where the arm was in, and then I just put the arm back, connected to this little thing. And it has extended out the arm to a more logical distance. Same goes for the other arm. You just take out two sections from his tail end. And there's that, and then you take him, and you remember which side his head's supposed to go on, and you plug it in on the side. Not as well done. I'm sorry about the aiming my camera. It's a cruddy webcam, but it's what I got. And that part, you got that going. Now I take off the head here. Well, I try to. Ugh. Now, one of the things I think is funny about this one is that is where Cross 4's head is. I'm calling it Cross 4. I'm used to calling it. I know it's times 4 in the dub, but that's just what I'm used to. And, that was just inside his head there. And then this one, of course, goes, plugs in right here. And we have basically the upper part of his body taken care of except for one little piece. Which I'll save that for. I'll take the sword from Shoutmon, and boom, I have the torso basically ready. Now it's time to cannibalize the rest of this guy. I stick back the part that still has the drill on it, the last segment. Make sure the drill is on there. And essentially I take this all the way apart. So I have to take out this little piece here, and this is where the joints all go. See if we can just get an extender that could have like these two balls and then another ball at the end, a little Y thing or something. We can extend him out, and he would be able to. This guy would have a little bit better of a movement, and it might look better. It might be something we could do to make the character make a little more sense, because there's a few things I'm a little annoyed with. Alright, now after I do that, it's going to be his torso, his pelvis. Then you have to take out this one. I have to say, you really do have to take it apart. And it's cool, but at the same time, it's a pain. Now, I didn't see this in the instructions, but I figured, where else am I going to put it? This little foot, I pop that off. It's all at a side angle, so I pop it back on here, because I think that's where it should go. And then boom, I have that leg, and then I have this little part here, and it snaps in back here, which actually adds a little more weight to his foot. That's pretty cool. And that's one leg. And then I repeat the same process on the other leg. Pop out everything, snap his front legs into the cross fours leg. I make it sound so easy, and yet I'm struggling with it. Oh well. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I'm probably missing something. Snap it in like that. Plug this leg on there again. And, you got this little foot hanging off, because it's kind of actually in the show. You can see it. Somehow I get... Oh, I guess I wasn't lining it up right. There it is. Oh, there it is. Kind of have to... Little nub you have to kind of push in there. And then you put these legs onto here. And you got his bottom half. Then you take your little plug right there, plug it in right there. Alright. Now let me raise the camera so you can see. He is almost done. Almost. One final thing. Take Shoutmon. We basically barely touched him. Pop off the V on his head. Oops, there goes his head. But you pop off the V on his head. Little ball there, you can see his brain. Something. Oh, there's a ball. And you snap the V into place. And there you go. That's Shoutmon times 4. Now, first thing that I think is ironic. The Shoutmon Cross 4 only uses one piece of Vmon. I mean, Shoutmon, sorry. The big V thing is confusing me. Just one piece. And that's a bit disappointing. Well, it uses 2 if you count the sword. So, I'm kind of like, ah. But, as a figure, I'm going to say, it's a little SD, rather short and stocky, but I like it. I like that part of it. I think it needs a few more points. One thing that bugs me, and this is something a new piece or something could fix, is that it's very hard to get much movement in this area down here, because it's just it's just really stuck in there. And you can check out the detail in the head. It's spectacular. I mean, this is pretty much has one of the best feels of the character, without it being a straight up. It's a good feel. It feels a little short and stocky. I'm not a big fan of the sword, and the sword is also the wrong number of. I would say the sword is again the wrong number of parts. It's supposed to be 12. Has yet to be made in 12. They've never done it. And that's a little annoying. So, it's a good size figure. I think it's perfect for kids in a lot of ways. A certain age of kids. I get it. And, it's pretty neat. I would say people aren't going to be disappointed they got this. That much I'm going to tell you. I think they're all going to be very happy with it. Now, as we're speaking, I'm actually combining my the small versions, the small Japanese toys, into the Cross 4, so I can so I can actually show you a good comparison. Show you a nice comparison of the characters. And it's one of those things that I only have some nitpicky things about this toy one, except for the only major issue I kind of have is that, Drill Garurumon, or whatever. It's Drill Garurumon. I mean, that's the best name for him. I forget what he's called. But he basically Garurumon or something. That's actually probably it. That's probably one of the worst looking versions of him. And that blows. I'm going to be honest, that blows. That part right there hurts. Hurts the figure. I'm sorry about that if y'all love it. I mean, I think the fact is that this figure made a lot of good decisions. And yeah, so I'm gonna scooch over. Main difference I'm gonna say about these. Well, this little one's is a lot cheaper. It's a cheaply made figure. I paid a little bit more for it, but it covers every bit of the character, every part of him's in there. There's no left out pieces like this one. But I can forgive the left off pieces. I actually can. What I want to see happen is I want to see someone come up with a special pack that gives this guy a little bit more height. I mean, I think he needs like just basically another belt loop type area. Something just to extend out his height. That would also let Darurumon, or whatever his name is, I think it's Darurumon, I'll have to double check it, give him where he actually has back legs. And also his legs, I think, they're kind of phoned in. I like how they go together in the figure, but it's really rather phoned in. And I think it's silly that Shoutmon is pretty much unused in this big figure. I mean, it's supposed to be Shoutmon X. And as you can see him, he's right there in the back. All he's missing is his sword and his headpiece. And that rather blows. But I can kind of forgive that one. What I would like is I'd like another V. Some V I can put on there and to replace, so I can have Shoutmon with his V on his head, because it's the best Shoutmon figure. And I just wish he had, he was a lot taller, because unlike the short one, smaller one. This one has a little bit of a restrictions in the movements, and I would like, right here I'm hitting up against his torso. Now he has the right joints and they are movable, but they're a little restricted. So I would like it if they could, you can see, like the joints like right there in the middle. So there's this big piece up here, and so it has to kind of clear the bottom, right at the bottom of the torso. So what I think needs to have, what I think I would want to see is another piece. Just another piece that would, it'd be neat if it could be made the same piece that could make, this guy, Drillurumon, I think is his name. If it could make him where he has a, extend out his body. And I would like to replace, replace his arms. Just some small things. Like maybe, replace the legs and stuff. Have a new version of the figure. Or, someone just needs to, make up some small pieces and just make it where, these feet are actually a little bit longer. And to recreate the legs to make them a little bit more versatile. But, that's just kind of nitpicking. I've dealt with some really bad Digimon toys. This isn't a bad Digimon toy. The only one I might call bad is basically just Drillurumon. Drillurumon. I don't know. I just think that, he doesn't quite work. And all it would take to fix it is just a simple piece to extend out the torso of him. And they might as well make that piece extend out the torso of this guy. And then maybe make his legs a little bit better. Like make the front legs able to fold up and go in the same spot back here. And then have the other two legs, extensions of these basically, where it goes down here. Where it snaps in and it's actually down here. The leg's down here. And then suddenly, when he's in, and it'll just, add a little bulk to here, but it'll also cover up a little bit of a hole back here. And we would have a very cool looking, and this figure would probably be straight up perfect. And, well, maybe not, perfection's an illusion, but visually is rather pleasing. And, I spent it was about $30 to get all three of them at once, but since I know how much trouble it can be to find them and I barely see Digimon toys out, I totally went after this. Now, one problem that all the figures have, and this one is no different. The swords always have the wrong number of Pikmon on them. This sword has 7. The sword on this guy has 8. And then the big Japanese version, which, I don't have the full setup of them, but that one has 4. So, honestly, I don't get why that keeps happening. I guess I kind of get it, but I would like to. Let me fell down. I would like it if there's anyone producing anything, they could produce some, quick little pieces, and all it would be an extension that would have these feet. Give him where he has like some back legs and stuff, an actual back leg. That would give him just a little bit more distance and, a few other things. Beyond that, I think that Bandai did another good job. And I hope to see more of them. So, anyway, that's me talking nonsense about an action figure. So, peace, love, and peanut butter, and, go check out the card game and the TV shows going on Vortex. It's going to be this Saturday. I'm rather excited, even though I've seen the whole series in Japanese. It's a different experience when you're watching it in a dub, and also I want to see how they change characters. I'm really hoping they make Mervamon more colorful. So anyway, I would say anyone who wants this, anyone who's liking the show, this isn't a bad one to pick up. This one's probably gonna stay the best for a while, the best version of this figure, and it does cross for the best. It's hard to go find one, but if you can, this is the best. But this guy's not a bad second. And I'm sorry to say the Japanese one is more on the third one, just for a few other reasons. This one just has, the only thing I really have a complaint with is just Dorurumon needs his own. He needs like an extra few pieces. And I guess that's it. And so I'll catch everyone later. And I can't talk. It's been a long day. So anyway, peace, love, and peanut butter.